Belovezhskaya Pushcha is a primeval forest which straddles the Polish-Belarusian border. The Belovezhskaya Pushcha National Park covers the Belarusian part of the forest. The Belaya Vezha Forest has been known as a protected area since the 15th century, when the Grand Dukes of Lithuania turned it into their hunting resort. The Polish kings who took over the forest continued the exploitation of the forest resources, conducting particularly large-scale hunting tours. They also established a number of factories that produced tar and tar oil. Logging started in the late 16th century, and at the same time royal edicts were issued aiming to preserve the population of bisons and other species. In 1795, Catherine the Great allowed to hunt all animals, except for zebra, and very soon the population of many species decreased, while bears and beavers were totally exterminated. Bialowieza Puschcha was divided into areas that were given to high-ranking Russian officials. A devastating fire of 1811 and the Russian-French War of 1812 affected the forest too. In 1888, Bialowieza Puschcha became a property of the Tsar family, and the hunting activities were stepped up. A hunting palace was built in Bialowieza Town, nowadays a Polish territory. During the First World War, the German occupants established several timber works to cut precious types of trees, and built about 300 kilometers of narrow-gauge railroad to facilitate the logging. As a result, 4.5 cubic meters of trees were transported to Germany, about the same volume as had been produced in the forest since the 16th century. In 1939, the Soviet authorities that took over Western Belarus established a state reserve. The second German occupation during the World War II didn't harm the forest much because Hermann Göring, a close associate of Hitler, wanted to turn it into a model hunting reserve of the Third Reich. After the World War II, the new Soviet-Polish border divided the Bialowieza Puschcha into a Polish and of Belarusian parts. The latter was converted into a hunting reserve for the top ranks of the Communist Party in 1957. The secrecy kept the wide masses away and contributed to the development of the flora and fauna. Vast infrastructure was built and developed over the years. In 1991, the hunting reserve was reorganized into the State National Park Belovezhskaya Pushcha. A year later, it was included into the UNESCO World Heritage List.